Good evening and welcome back. So women shouldn't wait into their 40s to have children. What a shocker. Yeah, but the reason for this is that there's been a trend, of course, for the idea that you can have it all, especially as a woman, in terms of encouraging a career, encouraging to rise to the top of the ranks there, and credit where it's due in terms of paying back student debt. Sure. Although from the research I did into it, you would have to be in the top 10% of income earners during your 30 years you have to repay the debt in order to pay it all back. So that isn't very realistic. But nonetheless, the idea being pushed forward by these celebrities we'll get into is that the woman can have her successful career and then tap out later on in order to then have children. Although, of course, not tap out for very long. And I think that that's the thing that is being overlooked here. Because the question I ask, and I think is certainly worth asking, is why there is the desire to have children at all. Quite seriously, actually. Because if it turns out that the career is so meaningful and lovely, and then you have that money to fall back on and that's reliable because you can buy or pay for whatever services you need in your older age, and as I say, the job is all that meaningful and your career is what gives your life purpose, then why are you wanting children? But really, whereas if it's the case that the career isn't really that meaningful to you or giving you purpose, then why are you sticking at it so long and spending so many years without starting a family? Which is it? Or is it, which seems to be most likely, that the women simply buy into the myth that the career is where they're going to find meaning, and then realise that that is a lie, and therefore have a desperate race against the clock in order to have children because they're getting what are known as the baby rabies, and then try and have difficulty with trying to have children into older age. And that isn't just in case of miscarriages. When you get into a much more mature first-time mother into mid-40s, which I know is more of an extreme, but still, over the age of 45, 1 in 2 pregnancies end in miscarriage. And a miscarriage is hard enough at any time, but when you know that you're running out of time to have children, and then you get a miscarriage, that is going to hit you even harder, of course. And yet that is the fact of the matter. And then when it comes to chances of Down syndrome, whether it'll be from like 1 in 1,500 down to 1 in 100 in the mid-30s, so much so that they start taking samples from the infant through the mother's womb in order to see if the child has any genetic problems, or whether that be gestation diabetes that then again causes issues for the child, or whether that be a greater uptick in cesarean C-section because the mother's muscles are weaker and therefore cannot give birth naturally. Any other number of complications for the mother, and then also for the child who is yet to be born. That these are also things worth considering for older age when it comes to starting a family. And yes, of course, these should definitely be noted, but I think that this is really just addressing the symptoms instead of the root cause. And as I said at the start, the root cause is why would they decide to wait so long? And again, that really comes down to choosing career over family, and why is that? And then why do women change their minds? What is it? Is it just at the time they reach their mid-30s, just like, yeah, I've done alright, I've got to a middle management position, and now I'm going to tap out? Why then? Why not continue up the ladder? Is it long enough then to realise that you've been fed a lie and it isn't worth continuing on? Is it because of the doubling of the labour pool with women not just being allowed to work, but basically having to work, that they can then get by and support their partner until they get to an age where they can afford having one drop out of work for a little while they raise a child? Even with maternity pay, of course. is that the reason? But of course, as I'm sure you'll understand, that there aren't really going to be any widespread studies into actually understanding what it is from a qualitative, and then using Likert scales, a quantitative measure of why women decide to wait so long now. In terms of, yeah, sure, celebrities are pushing it, but what is it that they're selling that is being bought? And that's my question of the day to you guys. So let me know down below, why do you think women are waiting so long? Why are they believing what is being told to them about, it's better to wait till you're older to be a mum? Is it because they think that the children aren't that important, but then decide to have them anyway? Is it because they realise what they've been told is a lie? Or is it because they cannot afford to only have one person providing an income until both careers are established? Either way, let me know down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, as always, until next time, have a good one.